I just wanted to get on because if you have been following me for any amount of time, you know that I had gotten into the habit of doing a weekly live. And I did a weekly live with an amazing woman where we talked about leading through the cracks, leading through adversity, leading through grief, and just talked about strategies on how to lead ourselves well, lead our lives well, and being good to ourselves and prioritizing our wellness. And also last year, I did a countdown to 2026 and I called it the year of the pause. We were counting down to the year of the pause being 2026. And what I have encountered right after that countdown to the year of the pause is a pause in my personal life that I was not anticipating. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today is like when you declare something to be so, like I declared 2026 to be the year of the pause. And what that meant for me was that I was going to be doing a lot of coaching, a lot of teaching, a lot of training on what it means to pause, right? What it means to prioritize our wellness. Um, I definitely got the opportunity to live that out, to practice what I preach. Um, it started January 2nd. I was extremely sick and I was sick for over 2 weeks. And at the end of that, I lost my dear cousin to cancer. And then shortly after that, really kind of in the midst of all of that, I was finding out that I was going to have to be a full-time caregiver to my grandmother, helping my mom, supporting my mom as she supported her own mom. Um, and that I would be out of my home for over a month. So, for those of you that don't know, I live in Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm currently in Savannah. Oh, Randolph. Oh, it's great. I'm so glad that I can see that you're on Randolph because I was just saying that the last few times that I did a live, I was not able to see when people joined and I wasn't able to see their comments. So I'm so happy that I can see you. Hey, Crystal. Good morning. Um, so I was just on here explaining that this year started off in a way that I was not expecting. I called, and as you know, Crystal, I know you definitely know, I called this year the year of the pause. I did a countdown last year, and 2026 was going to be the year of the pause, the year that I focused on how I was going to train, teach, and coach people on prioritizing their wellness, right? And what it really means to pause. And that pausing can look so many different ways. Good morning. Pausing can look so many different ways. And so, um, what happened after I declared that, I had to pause. I was pretty much it felt like I was sidelined. It felt like, I came into 2026 with all of this energy and all of this excitement and anticipation of what the year would look like. And then it was like, boom, as soon as January 2nd hit, I was down and out, down for the count. I was so sick, you guys, so sick. And there was really nothing that I could do. I had to pause. It was kind of one of those forced pauses, it was like it wasn't my choice. I wasn't pausing out of wisdom. I was pausing because I couldn't move. I was sick. And then shortly after that, I lost my dear cousin to cancer. And then, as I was saying, I found out in the midst of all of that, in the midst of losing my cousin, in the midst of trying to recover from whatever sickness I had, I found out that I was going to have to be a caregiver for my grandmother and literally leaving my home, traveling across country, and helping my mother to take care of her mother, which I'm more than willing and happy to do that. But the point is that this year, the year of the pause, I had so much anticipation coming into the year. I had so much just excitement about all the things that I was getting ready to launch, all the things that I was getting ready to do in this year to serve my people, my audience, and to be an encouragement and to just put all of the things that I believe have been put in me for other people. And I just struggled, couldn't do it. I cried so much in this year that it's crazy, and I keep saying in this year, and we're barely into the year, you know? It's February, I think, 17th or 18th today, and I feel like it's like May, June. I feel like that's how much I've lived in this year. So, I just I almost today I'm still in my pajamas, I'm still in bed, but I really had to almost force myself to come out and do the things that I love doing because my life is so consumed right now with caring for other people that I had to kind of pick and choose what it is that I can actually accomplish. What is it that I can do without kind of breaking myself? And, can I do it without it looking polished? Can I do it without it being the way Nicole wants things to look? And I was like, I have to. I don't care if I'm in my pajamas. I don't care if I'm in bed. I'm going to get up and I'm going to say hi to the people. I'm going to talk to people and I'm going to encourage people. And honestly, that's really what the year of the pause is about, right? It's really figuring out what you can do in your capacity to keep moving forward, to not allow the things of life to sideline you. And there may be a time, like for me, most of January, I did absolutely nothing because I couldn't. I couldn't do anything, not public facing anyway. I just wasn't able to. There were some behind the scenes things that are exciting that I was trying to do and getting the help with doing them. But as far as like me coming live and having these beautiful conversations that I love having so much, I couldn't do it. And so now that I'm starting to feel stronger and healthier in my body, my days are still completely out of whack. Like, I can't even tell you what's happening from one day to the next. I can't tell you where my windows are. Like, I can't really schedule anything with people because that's what caregiving looks like sometimes. Caregiving is unpredictable, it can be all consuming. Um, it can feel like you have no ability to do anything else at all. And that's what I've been battling with and struggling with as I'm in this year that's so exciting for my business that I wanted to just like, I have a summit coming up that is amazing. March 6th and 7th, there's a lineup of speakers that is beautiful that I wanted to promote that thing in a way that was just out there so everybody could see. I haven't been able to do it. I have not been able to do it. And I have had to be okay with that. I've had to accept where I'm at and what my capacity is. And so I just, me coming on today, honestly, the purpose was to spark myself, to creatively spark myself again, to encourage myself to get out there and to just do the things that I love to do, which is talking to you, it's coaching people, it's encouraging people. And w- regardless of whether I needed to be in my bed, still in my pajamas doing that, I was going to do it today and I was determined to do it. So that's it. That's what I'm doing. I'm out here talking and just being kind of getting back to myself. The thing that I hear most of the people that I work with say to me is that they've gotten to a point where they've lost themselves. They can't see themselves anymore because they're so consumed with whatever it is, whether it's their business, whether it's taking care of family, their kids, maybe they've had pain in their body, sickness in their body, whatever the case is, they've lost who they are. And I was determined to not lose myself in whatever way that looked. So it may not have, it may be that I wasn't able and I'm not able to do the things that I normally do in the consistency and the frequency that I do them. But what can I do so that I can fuel myself with creative energy, so that I can encourage myself, so that I can keep moving, even if it's ever so slightly, ever so slightly, continue to move forward so that, one of the things that I struggled with for many, many years was this whole start stop thing. It was like I would start something and then I would stop. I would start and I would stop. And a lot of that had to do with mindset. It had to do with confidence. Um, but some of it did have to do with what was going on in my life and how I was able to handle it. And some of that happened because if I couldn't do it exactly the way I planned to do it or I saw in my mind, then I wasn't going to do it. And what did that do? That caused gaps in time to where I would have to come back and figure out where I was. It caused me to redo work that was unnecessary to do again because I would forget where I was or, but instead of stopping this time, like a complete stop. And listen, sometimes you have to have a complete stop, but if you don't, if you don't have to have a complete stop, what is it that you can do? What thread, what piece can you hold on to? What can you do to keep you moving forward? And it doesn't have to look perfect. If you need to be in your pajamas, be in your pajamas. Like I'm in my pajamas. I'm in bed. And I am not ashamed to say that, right? I'm not ashamed to say that. I and I probably will make myself come on live and just have these little chats with whoever is on. If nobody's on, I'll just be talking to myself. Why? Because it's what I need to do to fuel myself, to encourage myself, to actually practice what I preach. Like this month and a half of 2026, one thing that it has done is allowed me to put myself in the position of the women that I coach, because I coach women who are solopreneurs, who are pushed to their capacity, who feel like they have lost themselves, who feel like life is hitting them in every direction. And if there's one thing I can say, it is I understand that. I understand that life. I did understand it before this month and a half, and I keep thinking like, did I really need to walk through this again? I feel like I already understood that life, but it's fresh, right? It's super fresh. I'm living it out right now as I speak. So as I head into launching my summit, as I head into launching my membership group called No More Silos, which is specifically for women who feel that way, I'm living it out. I understand exactly what it feels like. Our lives may look different. We may have different things that are pulling at us, but we have things that are pulling at us. And I understand that. And I know what it looks like to feel discouraged, to feel like you can't function, to feel like you can't move, to feel like you're sidelined and you've lost sight of you. I know what that feels like. So I have to say, I'm grateful for the process, and I'm grateful for the journey that I've been on this month and a half. It hasn't felt good. It still doesn't feel good, honestly. It's still pretty uncomfortable. It's still pretty uncomfortable to feel like my life is out of control and that I can't necessarily plan my days. And I've had to delete some things. Like yesterday was the first day that I had the energy to go through and I had to email people and say, I need to pause this. I need to not do this right now. I need to come back to this in April. I need to, um, I just don't have the capacity to do this. I've had to ignore text messages and that hurts my heart sometimes because I don't like ignoring people, but sometimes you just don't have the capacity. And for my mental health and for my well-being, I've had to go silent in some areas because I just did not have the capacity to keep moving. But where do I have it? And as I get stronger, because I'm giving myself rest and I'm figuring out what this new kind of chaos, organized chaos in my world looks like, I'm finding ways that I can come out of it and take small steps, little baby steps, which will eventually turn into momentum, right? As I keep going. So thank you so much for, just being on here with me today as I take these steps to come back to life. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm coming back to myself after having to shut down for some time. And I see Lamar is on here. Hi, Lamar. And it's good to see you. I haven't seen you for so long, partly because I haven't been on here. I've been silent as I've been sharing with people. And I feel like I'm just now coming back. I'm just now coming back to Nicole. I'm coming back to life, but I'm doing it in a way that I feel I have the capacity to do. So, you guys, bear with me. You might see me pop on here and I might sound like I have nothing to say, but I'm making myself come back live. Like doing these lives, you know, on Substack have been life-giving to me, and not being able to do them has really been sad and discouraging to me. So, I've decided, even though I can't schedule them anymore like I used to, I did them every Monday at 11 Central Time. I can't do that because who knows what I'll be doing at 11 Central Time as a caregiver. You just never know. So now I just have to pop on when I can pop on. And if I'm in my pajamas, I'm in my pajamas. And that's just the way it has to be. So I hope that you'll be able to catch me sometimes. I feel like even as I'm talking to you, I feel like I'm just going to be popping on here randomly and chatting because I need to, for no other reason than because I need to. So hopefully you'll catch me sometimes and you'll say hi. And, and if you're in a space where you feel like you've lost sight of yourself, I hope that you will pause. You will take some intentional pauses and see where you have the capacity to take tiny steps to come back to you, as I'm doing. I hope that for you. So, thank you guys for listening with me this morning. I have to go now because I have to step into caregiver role, but it's been great chatting. It's been great seeing some familiar faces. And yeah, I'll be back another day, maybe this week, because now that I've started, what happens when you take one step, momentum starts to build and you start to just find those spaces where you can do whatever the thing is that you need to do to fuel yourself. So maybe you'll see me again this week. All right. Talk to you guys later. Much love to you. Thank you, Randolph.